Hello, I am Commissioner Emma I. Darnell. Welcome to Mighty Five Conversations. Conversations is a monthly information and communication program focusing on the sustainable community, economically strong, environmentally safe, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for joining us. I will be back in a moment. The subject for today's conversation, Fulton County seniors in fiscal 2013. What's going on? Joining me in the conversation today is Sarah Hilton, the Division Manager for the Office of Aging in the Human Services Department. Welcome, Ms. Hilton.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you here. I believe you were here 1 year ago this month in January, and at that time you talked to us about a survey that the department planned to conduct, focusing really on seniors who use our services, in addition to providers and other advocates for seniors in Fulton County. And you said at that time that the purpose of the survey would be to determine what the needs and interests are of the seniors who we serve, for the purpose, though, of future planning and action. Now that the department has submitted its budget for 2013, and is in the process of making adjustments to its strategic plan, it is my understanding that you have made rather heavy use of the findings from that survey. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'd like for you to talk to us a little bit about that. We know that the State of Fulton County Senior Symposium was held in May of 2012, where we had a wide-ranging discussion with the seniors. But now we want to flip it over a little bit and say, now that we've completed our survey and we've talked to seniors and providers, what are some of our conclusions, and how are we going to probably make some adjustments here and there?
Thank you, and it's great to be here. And the Office of Aging is really looking forward to 2013 and future planning efforts to support aging at home. And that's basically our message, looking at how we support seniors and caregivers to live at home with the support and services that they need. And supportive environments help all of us, no matter what age you are. So I say everything from the swing set to the senior center. Supportive environments will provide for seniors and caregivers to age at home, allowing them to live a vibrant and healthy life with the supports and services that they need. Just because you turn 65, it doesn't mean you stop living. And what we're trying to do within the Office of Aging is making sure that people have opportunities to continue to socially engage, as well as enjoy friendship and continue to contribute. Seniors still want to be active and share their skills and their talents with the community to develop their communities and surrounding communities. And also, as seniors get older, may require more supportive services, Fulton County wants to be there to support them through that process to make sure that they're still able to live at home with the supports that they need and not have to go to somewhere where it might not be the best place for them in terms of receiving care.
So aging in place will continue in FY 2013 as the primary goal of the department as we continue to meet our responsibilities to Fulton County seniors. What were some of the key findings of the survey that we are using this year as we make the kind of analysis that you just discussed?
Some of the key findings include things on daily activities. People still want to be engaged. They want to recreate. They want to enjoy their centers and go there for fellowship, as well as for individuals who are homebound. We've seen from the findings that people need home care. They need assistance with daily activities such as personal care and laundry and meal preparation.
So all seniors are not at the centers, are they?
That's correct. Not just because you're a senior doesn't necessarily mean either you're at the center or you're homebound. Seniors are very diverse, just like any age group. And what we're trying to do is make sure that we provide services for all seniors, not just the ones in the centers or the ones specifically that are at home, but a continuum of care that provides services and supports for all seniors.
What were some of your findings as it related to food insecurity? I think many of us were a little surprised, for an example, to find from the survey that at least 10% of the seniors who made up the survey indicated that they skip meals because of income problems.
Right, and income being the greatest predictor of food insecurity. And what we found is that people are skipping meals. They're also reducing the portion of their meals to stretch their food so it will last longer. And also sometimes with individuals who are caring for grandchildren, we find that the grandparents are giving up their meals in order to provide for grandchildren. So there are individuals, especially those on limited income, who do have an issue with getting adequate nutrition on a daily basis.
I also found in your report that in terms of the seniors who have income problems, that many times they are not able to afford their prescription medicines.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's correct. And people are now in a position where they're having to choose whether it's buy groceries, pay the light bill, or pay their prescriptions. And what we found also is that people are rationing their medications as well. They're taking not the full dose because they're trying to stretch their medication. So we definitely have to look at providing for those individuals who are most at risk, are on limited incomes, and are having to choose between prescriptions, foods, and their light bills.
And what were some of your findings with respect to housing and the small repairs? I was a little surprised to find the number of seniors who indicated in the survey that they are unable to make the small home repairs that are needed in order to stay in their homes.
And home repair and modification is definitely a needed service to help people age at home. Everything from getting roof replacements or getting grab bars within their home is definitely needed to help keep people safe. We are finding that people need those repairs in order to stay in their homes, and we are looking in 2013 to continue to provide that service, and then also look at different partnerships to provide more service that could be more of a collaborative effort and sharing of resources to get individuals those home repairs, as well as, when you speak about housing, is affordable housing options, and that is definitely going to be key.
I understand that's a critical problem in many sections of our county.
That's correct.
For seniors.
Yeah, we don't have the resources available to respond to the request for affordable housing.
Also, in this same area of surprises from your findings, and that's why it's so good to talk to the people themselves, not reach conclusions on what you see in your neighborhood or in your church. I was surprised to find the number of seniors who have difficulty with their utility bills.
Right.
Seniors who are still working and say they've experienced age discrimination. 30% say they've experienced age discrimination. I don't think we have a program for age discrimination on the job, do we?
Employers are encouraged to really educate hiring managers and promote a culture of including older workers. Older workers have so much to provide in terms of their knowledge and their wisdom, and they're definitely an asset. And moving forward, we hope to look at providing more education to employers to include older adults and not just disregard them because of their age, but include them because of their wisdom and their skill set and their experience that they can bring to any position.
What about the lack of grocery stores in communities? In talking to folks who are advocates for seniors but don't have the information we have from seniors, there were some surprises that so many seniors do not live in areas that have grocery stores. Tell us about that finding.
Yeah. What we found is that in lower income areas, they have least access to grocery stores and fresh fruit and vegetables. They have a higher access to fast food. And as we move forward in 2013, we want to make sure that we are looking at initiatives to get fresh food to those neighborhoods that don't necessarily have a grocery store in distance. And the term is called food deserts, meaning that there's people who don't have access to grocery stores. And transportation, one of the highest needs was transportation to grocery stores and medical appointments. So food is definitely directly related to health outcomes, and people need nutritious food in order to continue to lead healthy lives.
When we come back, Ms. Hilton, we're going to talk about some of the really bright spots in the survey and also focus on the kinds of strategies that the department is developing to respond to these findings, not just those that probably affect over 50% of the survey participants, but that 10 to 20% who are experiencing severe social and economic problems. We'll be back in a moment. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. Ms. Hilton, we're going to get down to FY 2013. We are deeply appreciative of the fact that departments in Fulton County make use of data, make use of the science as they make decisions about what will be done. Because we know that with the severe financial restrictions that we have, strategies must be evidence-based. And the survey of Fulton County seniors, which you conducted, and I'm going to ask you to say a little something about how that was done, the methodology. That survey gives the department a lot of the data that you need to develop strategies. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And we're going to talk about some of those strategies, particularly those that the department has to use in order to deal with these complex social and economic circumstances that affect at least 20% of the seniors that we serve. But tell us a little something about that survey for those who don't know and the methodology. And then we want to talk about some of the strategies that the department has developed for next year to deal with some of these hard problems.
Sure. The strategy was conducted starting April of 2012, and individuals 55 and older were surveyed, 55 and under, as well as caregivers and service providers. And we were looking at to assess both the needs and the status of older adults to give us more information to plan for the future. And what we found is that there's a number of areas that we need to really look at in terms of providing service to continue to age for individuals to continue to age at home. So we surveyed over 2,400 individuals, and that was a great response rate that we had, and the findings were very enriching in terms of helping us to plan moving forward. And looking at the strategies.
Excuse me, I believe Kennesaw College, the A.L. Burris Institute, worked with you on some aspects of it. Is that correct?
That's correct. The A.L. Burris Institute worked in partnership with us to assist in this survey.
Yes.
Yes, and from the survey we had a final report and recommendations in terms of moving forward, and the recommendations moving forward focused on, around daily activities, food security, caregiving, transportation. There was 8 different recommendations that we are currently looking at to develop programs and services, and then also looking at more of a partnership and a collaboration effort, because Fulton County cannot do it by themselves. We need help from our partners, we need help from the community and the seniors living in the community in order to respond to the needs of seniors and caregivers.
What are some of the partners that we will be looking to in FY 2013 to help us?
Some of the partnerships that we'll be looking to develop are partnerships with the cities within Fulton County to look at resource sharing and to provide enhanced services and to develop services. We also look at partnerships with the universities and colleges to develop mutually beneficial relationships where students have the opportunity to learn about seniors and use what they're learning in school.
And volunteer.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
And looking at a partnership model there. Also internally, we're looking at developing more of a common ground approach to our services.
Integrated.
Exactly. One of the survey findings was that people are not necessarily prepared for an emergency. And this past September, we partnered internally to provide emergency preparedness toolkits and education so people, because sometimes people think that emergency is not going to happen, and we found that in the survey. And now we're encouraging people to prepare just in case emergency happens. So we're looking at different partnerships also with health promotion, and not just doing one education session, but doing continuous education to look at changing.
Going beyond the health fair.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Because health fairs don't change behavior necessarily.
Right.
And we want to educate and get people to learn and be aware of the food they're eating and why exercise is important, and look at diabetes management and how to manage that so you can continue to live in the community. So we're looking at a number of different partnerships, both to share our resources and expand our service to the growing population of seniors within Fulton County.
And on that food insecurity area, I noticed that the department has established relationships with the Department of Cooperative Extension and their Fulton Fresh program.
Right.
Because I noticed that many of the communities that they targeted, and even the places where they established the activity, were either at senior centers or near senior centers, particularly those that are in those areas that we call food deserts.
Right, right.
You talking about community collaboration, supportive environments. It's not always just institutions that can provide that support, isn't that correct?
That's correct. What
is it that we have learned in our work in aging that community involvement can do to strengthen our program and to help us help seniors age in place and to have the quality of life which they expect and deserve.
And I think it starts with education. So even when you look at communities and local businesses, and if you have a patron coming in who's a senior and you notice over a course that, you know, maybe they need some services or they're coming in every day and maybe they need somewhere to go in terms of an activity center. So it's looking at how we could increase our education and awareness of programs and services, not just to the seniors or the caregivers, but also to local businesses, to our libraries, developing intergenerational partnerships with our schools so the young can have an appreciation of seniors, and also there can be a transfer of knowledge and skill set and relationship building. So it's a community embracing the fact that we're all aging and we have to look out for one another. And even, you know, if it's your neighbor and you're a young person, you don't have any senior in your life, do you know how to refer them to services and programs? So part of our strategy moving forward is definitely education and getting the word
Of the
out.
entire community.
Of the entire community. Because seniors are not just at our senior centers, or they're just not just in a long-term care home. They're out in our communities. They're going to the library. They're still working. They're going to the grocery store. So we want to make sure that people are educated about the services that we provide, that they can take advantages of the programs, and it's a whole community concept. It's not just age-specific.
I noticed that the survey gave some really good information with respect to how seniors feel about being connected to the community. Some really good findings there. Tell us about that, Ms. Hilton.
Yeah, Fulton County is definitely, seniors do feel connected to their communities, to their churches, to their friends, to their centers, and they do feel that...
I think it was 85 or 90% of them felt
it was
connected.
Yes, that's right. And they feel that has contributed to a positive quality of life. So even though they might experience certain challenges, knowing that they have a friend at a center or knowing that they're connected to their church and have fellowships or places of worship has definitely increased their overall perceived quality of life. One particular aspect, there was a high number for the feeling connectedness, but we also have to make sure that the individuals who are isolated still are connected through the community with our programs and services.
So we have to go beyond centers, don't we?
That's right, that's right.
Yes, because not all seniors will have an opportunity to participate in senior centers. But certainly those centers are important, aren't they?
They are, and definitely for social engagement. People still want to volunteer, they want to exercise, they want to have lunch, they want to do all the things that anybody else wants to do. And just because they're seniors doesn't mean that they should be doing something else, that they want to continue to be engaged. And you go to our centers and you see how packed they are and just the importance of those centers.
Those centers also have many opportunities for community involvement, don't they?
Yes, that's correct. And seniors want to give back. They want to work on projects and
They've done this all their lives.
Yes, yes.
I like to say they built communities. The communities that we have, they help build them.
That's correct.
And as you say, this is a lifelong activity for them. I noticed during Older Americans Month, one of the heaviest days that we celebrate during that period is Community Day, when the centers are just packed with grandchildren, you know, with son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws, and the whole community is there. Also, I noticed in the report you mentioned, and you've mentioned it several times, the volunteers who come in from the community. That's critical also, isn't it?
Especially moving forward.
So a senior center is not a place where we lock up seniors and separate seniors from their communities. A senior center is a place with wide open doors where communities often come in. I think it's very important, Ms. Hilton, that, and I'd like to emphasize what you said about integrating all of these services, housing, transportation, health, socialization, both internally and in the community, to integrate all of these services, because we're dealing with one person, not several.
Right.
Well, we are very appreciative of your coming in today, Ms. Hilton, to bring us up to date on where we are with respect to planning for the future, and specifically for FY 2013 with respect to Fulton County's senior adults. Thank you so much. And we'll probably bring you back at the end of the first quarter so that we can let folks know where we are and where we are going.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll be back in a moment with closing thoughts. Stay with us. The record indicates Fulton County's Senior Center program is one of its highest rated programs in customer satisfaction. Centers are places of life and learning, food, fitness, and fellowship. However, as we move forward in 2013 to meet the challenges of a graying Fulton County, we may need to be reminded, as the science suggests, seniors do not live in centers. Seniors live in communities, with us, around us, and supporting us. Therefore, we may need to consider not only places, but purposes. Not only buildings, but beliefs. That's all the time we have for today's conversation. Until next time, stay strong. To learn more about today's conversation and how you can help, contact me at 404-612-8222. That's 404-612-8222. You can also email me at emma.darnell@fultoncountyga.gov.